So it means the Friday live stream. I'm not alone today. I forgot how to have real people in here. Just literally forgot. So it took me 10 minutes just to set up, to learn how to zoom out to wide angle, Steve. You know, so we got Steve Lamb in the chat with us. He's our technical advisor. We're gonna ask him all the technical questions. So if you do have technical question for Steve, definitely let me know in the comments in the chat below. Put QQQ right in front of the questions. I hope you survived Halloween. Happy Diwali in that part of the world. Good luck with your presidential elections.
Good afternoon.
And this is Steve. Koffee Fund is open. Let's see who is in the chat today. So I got John Hughes, Rando, David Mascoro, John Rayleigh, Len Oshman, Jay Blue, Colin Brahma, Raimo, Zhao, Tadeusz, Per Elison. Wow, so many people. Per Snellman, Colin Murphy. I'm butchering everyone's name. Michael Reed, Dave Walker, Simon Ma, Pete Gazzola, David Liu. My chat just updated. Tell us how is the sound as well. We've done a little bit of testing, so hopefully we're not clipping. But if the mics are a bit too hot, let me know and we'll lower them. Hopefully we're not going to buffer today. With all this out of the way, Steve, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm sure that some of you who came to the shop, you met Steve. He's right up there with everyone. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm the technical advisor for Grazer Westminster, and I also get involved in sales. I've been working here now for over 3.5 years. Where did that go?
That's right. That's isn't it? I mean, we are now looking towards Christmas already, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So
incredible.
Yeah.
How did you start with photography?
Do you want to know my first Nikon camera?
Everything,
My first camera?
literally from your first days in photography, detail, day by day, till now.
The first camera I ever used was my grandmother's Nikon Kodak Brownie. I was aged about 8.
Nice.
The first SLR I ever had was a Leica Flex SL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
But I couldn't afford any lenses for it, so I ended up with a Nikon FTN as my first ever film camera.
Nice. How did you get into Nikons?
My father had an F2A.
And it's just passed on.
Yeah.
A lot of us literally had someone, either members of family or some friends who were using Nikon.
That's right.
Just decided to switch to it. What are you on now? What equipment do you use currently?
Currently I use a Z9, and I recently got myself a Z6 to replace my Z5.
Not bad. When did you decide to sell all your digital SLR, Nikon DSLRs, really?
Well, I thought you would have to take my D850 out of my dead hands. But when I started using the Mirrorless here for promotional shots of equipment and what have you, it just dawned on me how much superior it was to the DSLR, and that was it. That was sold.
What was superior? What did you find kind of the main thing that swayed you?
For me, it was changing the exposure and being able to see it in the viewfinder rather than constantly having to look at the screen after taking the picture. And the autofocus, well. And the quality of the images. The glass just blows the F-glass away.
That's true. So you bought Z9 when it first came out. Did you regret it a little bit when, like, let's say when ZA came out?
Oh, no.
Did you think to switch?
No, not at all. I'm quite happy with the Z6 as my backup.
Okay.
Because the battery capacity of the Z9 is so much bigger than the Z8.
What is your case use for each camera? When do you use Z9? When do you use Z6 III?
Okay, so the Z9 I use for sports, wildlife, and air shows, that sort of stuff, action basically. The Z6 is my street photography camera and general day-to-day camera.
How did you decide to upgrade from Z5 to Z6 III?
Well, when it came out, it was the X-Speed 7, the improved autofocus. Yeah, it's just a superior camera by a long stretch.
Was it those focuses the main thing, really? Or?
It was, yeah. X-Speed 7 with the autofocus is just mind-blowing.
You don't shoot video?
Occasionally, not very much.
Do you think we need to have video in our mirrorless cameras?
Well, our mirrorless cameras are video cameras.
Here you have it, folks. I thought Steve was going to say, we don't need the video now. And then half of you in the chat would just say, yes, finally, someone... No, we need video in our cameras. Unfortunately, video is what pushes the technology and the progress of our cameras. So what photography do you do?
My favourite is black and white street photography.
Okay.
I love going to London every weekend and just going around Chinatown or Leicester Square or wherever, just trying to, I love black and white street photography.
And you've done a bit of air shows as well.
Yes, I've done a few air shows. I love to do wildlife, a little bit of portraiture, event photography, everything except weddings.
Why not?
Because I'm more nervous than the bride and groom.
Fair enough. What current lenses do you have in your lineup for cameras? I mean, you've got too many, I know, but what are the top 5, let's say?
Top 5, 14 to 30, 24 to 70 f2.8, 70 to 200, 105mm macro. There they are, that's the 5.
Nice. There's a deal going on right now, by the way.
Yeah.
So there's a instant winter Nikon save. You can change all those words around. It sounds the same, but there's quite a few savings there to be had. Speaking of which, Nikon Owner Magazine, if you want to subscribe today, there's a code called Steve10.
Right.
So, yeah, if you want to do that, then Steve gets something out of it. So that's good news. Let's support the local guys. How did you become technical advisor?
I applied for a job here. I was basically made redundant at my old firm, and I was been off work for about a year, and I was starting to get a bit bored. Mm-hmm. So I thought, if I'm going to enjoy working, I actually was looking for jobs at Nikon. Mm. And whilst I was searching for jobs at Nikon, this one at Grays of Westminster popped up, and I thought I'd really love to do that.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah. The rest is history.
Yes, I used to be a technical advisor back in the day. Then we found a really good replacement. We're going to talk a little bit about the news, the rumors, and obviously the 28-135, the development of which was announced as well. I want to hear your opinion as well. But let's just have a look. If you've got any questions in the chat for Steve at this moment. There's Andy Miller in the chat. And he says, Steve, welcome. What is the best temperature and humidity to store camera and lenses in the UK? Very specific.
Round about room temperature between 18 to 24 degrees C, and humidity between 40 and 60 percent humidity. That's what I store mine at.
Do you have like a special cabinet?
I've got a Heath Robinson one, which I made up myself, which has got fans in it.
Oh, I see.
And dehumidifiers in it, various different types. But yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, I need to buy a dehumidifier, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to get one.
Yeah. How many liters would you recommend? I'm on the search for one. There's 12 liters, there's 20, there's 25.
25.
25. Yeah. Get the biggest one you can if you're in the UK or any other humid countries. But actually, one of the questions, there's another one from Ian White, and he says, quick question, what is the best way to store lenses if you're not using one for a while? So it's kind of relates to this, but would you, let's say, take them for a walk or run them every now and then, like you would do for your old car or something like this?
It's good to give them a spin every now and again. Yeah. But the worst thing you can do is keep them in the dark, believe it or not, because UV light kills off fungus.
How interesting.
Yeah, so I don't store mine with the lens caps on. I like to let the light get into them and store them somewhere where there's a bit of breeze or air movement, because that's another thing that makes fungus grow.
Fantastic. David Walker just ordered a new MacBook Pro M4 Mini as well, with displays and everything. Accused to me that I can connect my Z8 direct via USB-C to upload the images. No need for readers. You've got a MacBook, or you've got a PC recently, haven't you?
I've got a Windows PC, yeah, not a MacBook.
You're not a MacBook person, not a Mac person.
No, I'm a Windows, I'm afraid.
Windows forever. But how did you spec it up?
Well, it's a gaming PC, so it's way over spec. It's 32 gigabyte RAM.
We're going to continue talking gaming for the rest of this live stream.
Anyway, it's top of the range. So.
What do you game? What games are you playing?
Basically, Red Redemption 2 at the moment.
You're going to talk on chapter 3.
So, I'm on chapter 4.
There you go. The rest of the show is going to fall off. Yeah. It's a Red Dead Redemption. But you were playing actually the Microsoft Flight Simulator at the time, didn't you? You still flying? The Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Yeah, the latest one. Yeah, it's original on the computer.
What was your latest flight? Where did you fly to?
Believe it or not, I landed a helicopter outside here.
if you are a customer who can land a helicopter right in front of the shop, you'll get a free lens cap. Let's do the lens cap. Anyway, let's see more questions. All right. So yeah, one of the things what I posted on my Instagram a couple of days ago, just say that I've decided to change our live streams for the rest of the year. And the idea of this series of live streams that we're going to have is called Meet Grace. So I want you to know the real people who work at Grace or Westminster Camera Store, what they do, what they love. We're all photographers. So we always have a chat. So, but you know, me and Becky, but actually there's a lot more to Grace. So Steve is the first one in line. We'll have another chat in a few weeks with that, but we're going to see more people as well every now and then. And it makes my life easy because I don't have to talk for an hour.
Absolutely.
Alone. Yeah. All right. So Zhao has a question. So he said, thanks for taking the notes about comparing 35 1.4 to 35 1.4G. Have you had any time to do this in comparison? So that was a question for me last week. I went downstairs and we don't have 3514G in stock at the moment. We don't have neither demo unit nor second-hand one, unfortunately. So it is in the book, so I've written it down, but we don't have one at the moment to compare it to. Have you seen any comparisons?
I have seen any comparisons. The 35mm Z 1.4 is going to be very similar to the G version.
Okay.
In other words, soft at the edges.
Soft edges, yeah sharp in the middle.
Yep.
Okay, so would you say if you go 3514G, probably there's no need?
Probably not, other than you've got the length of the adapter to get in the way.
Are you that person who, let's say, who upgrades, let's say, all the old glass to the current equivalence of this, or do you normally feel like if you've got something that does the same, you would just stick with the old one?
I'd stick with the old one if there's no improvement. Yeah, most definitely.
Do you have any F mount lenses still?
Yes, I've got 3. So
what do you have? What are the best 3 lenses?
I've got the 50mm 1.4D.
D, okay, that's an interesting one.
The 35 to 135D.
Nice.
And the 35 to 70 f3.5 to 4.5 AIS.
Wow. So are you using those are you using them on film cameras or?
Yeah, I'm using them on the F4.
Interesting. We're going to talk film later. That's going to be the last half an hour. After we finish, talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. But let's see what other questions are in the chat. I want your feedback as well. If you let us know in the comments below, if you want us to do the series like this and have interviews with people who do real work, not me just blabbing on the internet. So definitely let us know. Eric Lorik has a question. So again, long-term storage. Is long-term storage of lenses in camera bag really bad for the lens?
Yes, it is. It is, because your camera bag is basically full of dust, and it's like mushrooms. Keep them in the dark and they grow. Same with fungus. I would take them out of camera bags. Worst place to keep them.
Okay, no silica gel bags or anything like this?
You can do silica gel bags, but after about 3 months, they become useless and they actually hold water, so you need to dry them out. Well, I dry mine out on the radiators.
Oh, I see. I heard that you can put them in the oven as well.
You can put, there are certain ones you can put in the, I've got ones you can put in the microwave.
All right.
In fact, I'm going to buy a new microwave tonight.
Just
simply because of the silicon. Yeah, because our one broke.
You can see a technical advisor when you hear things like this. You see, so it's like you go and you do things with attention to details, meticulously. You buy a microwave for your silica gels. This is very important. But you know, like there are now those kind of storage units. They look like those kind of display fridges and stuff.
Yeah.
Which keeps all the temperature control and everything.
Yeah, that's what I want to get.
Yeah, but you built one yourself.
No, I'll buy it.
Okay, but you said you have something set up.
Yeah, all I've got is a glass cabinet, which I've put liquid rubber, so it's got rubber seals that when the liquid rubber dries, they become rubber seals. And I've just got loads of silica gel packs in there, various sizes, fans in there. You know, like handheld fans, people use them on the train.
I know a lot of people use PC fans as well.
That's right, yeah, you can use them. And they're running all the time at the moment because humidity outside is quite high.
I'm building my own film drying cabinet right now from MDF. So, yeah, basically HEPA filter, lots of PC, PC fans to blow air from the top to the bottom,
Yeah.
so and the temperature control as well.
Yeah.
So I guess it's very similar to that. So Andy Miller is 100% agrees with you. He said, do not store your equipment in unheated shed garage. Yes,
Yeah.
or attic,
No.
you know, if it's not insulated. Eric has another question. Does lens optics last forever, or does fungal growth, dust, spores, etc. eventually take over?
It depends how you store them. It's as simple as that. Zoom lenses tend to drag in air and they drag in dust as well. So we see more fungus in zoom lenses than we do primes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, especially if you've got something like a consumer zoom lens. If
Yeah.
you try to zoom out and zoom it back in, and if you put your hand at the rear of the lens, you'll just feel the air coming out of it. So that's as simple as that. That should tell you all about the external zooms. Let's see more questions. Yes, Dave, I called it MacBook Mini. Yes, it is a Mac Mini that they came out with. It's very nice. So there's a thumbs up for Red Dead Redemption 2. Are you looking forward to GTA 6?
I've not played any GTAs.
All right, well, it's open world. It's similar, but obviously
I'm going to
modern,
give
but-
it a go. I will give it a go.
All right, well, you got GTA 5 to go through, so in anticipation. Well, I'm looking forward to it, definitely. What do you think about rumors on Z50 Mark II? Do you think we need this camera right now?
Yes, it's the oldest. It's 5 years since it came out, so yeah, it's due a change.
What do you think we will see in that camera? What desperately needs to be done?
The autofocus. So I suspect it'll have the new X-Speed in it.
So X-Speed 7, effectively, you got X-Speed 7, it brings all the goodies with it. So
It's going to
basically-
come down, yeah.
So you got fast AF and then fast processing of data.
Yeah.
Therefore, you get obviously video resolution increase and frame rates. You
More
got higher
frames,
more frames. Hopefully, increase the buffer at the same time.
Yeah.
And we get all the tracking in the world, all the objects. Correctly. Okay.
And hopefully they'll up the sensor megapixels. We'll see.
What do you think about just resolution? Like we always talk about resolution on full frame sensors because it's a bigger sensor. But obviously with the DX sensors, we come to the position where when you start to increase resolution, the pixel density increases so much that effectively you start to battle with the noise and things like this. So where do you think, let's say, Z50 Mark II needs to go? How far resolution-wise it needs to go?
Somewhere around 30s, I would say, would be
30.
a possibility. But what we do need is more DX lenses.
That's right. Do you have any, like, what do you think we need desperately? What is the first DX lens that you would release if you would be Nikon?
A nice wide angle.
Nice wide angle?
Yeah, 24, 28, somewhere in that region.
Yeah, because we've got a power zoom, obviously, which is good for videographers. It's got really neat features if you're a videographer because you can kind of set up the zoom and it will zoom in, let's say, or zoom out while you're recording yourself on the video. It's not that important for stills photography. I'm thinking that ideally, well, I want 18mm f2. It's just a nice street photography lens. We've got 24 now, which is equivalent of 35. So that's good. I personally want this. I probably would love to see something like 17 to 55 2.8.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, like used to have.
But one thing people say that, let's say, because of Z50, it's such a nice small camera, and obviously there's a lot of benefits of having a small camera. Some people still want a bigger camera, so that's why there's talk about D500 replacement, something that is not going to feel too front heavy with a big lens attached to it.
Something like a Z90 or something.
Yeah,
like
do you think we need one of those?
a professional DX camera? Yes, I do.
Do you think Z50 Mark II, having all the latest specs, would that be a replacement? Obviously, small form factor, but effectively, if we get the autofocus bump, if we get the memory buffer and frame rate bump, do you think that technically would be a D500 replacement, or do you think we still need a bigger body?
I think we still need something with more megapixels on it.
There are questions of what Nikon is going to release next year, but we're going to come to that a bit later. So let's just have a look at other... Yeah, Jim, so we will cover that question, prediction for 2025. He's also asking if there's a rumors of Z9H. Do you think we need the Z9H?
How are you going to make it any faster? If 120 frames per second isn't fast enough...
Do you think we need like a low res, low light monster, basically big pixels on the sensor, D2H, D2X analogy, if you see?
No, I think those days have gone.
The days are gone.
Yeah.
There you have, folks. About global shutter.
Yes, that's coming.
That's coming.
But
Okay.
it'll be a couple of years, yeah.
Thank you very much, Jay Blue. He says November is here. Happy Friday, Con and Steve. Thank you very much, Jay. Appreciate that. Ian White says, great idea, Con. When I pop in now and then I know the names, but it's going to be nice knowing what they do photography-wise as well. It's always good to put name to the face as well. When I see you in the chart there, and then when you actually come to the store, and some of you travel from all over the world, and shake my hand. It's a nice thing to have because I see your names here when I actually meet the real person. It's absolutely incredible. But yes, Steve is the person you can actually call in the shop and ask all your questions.
Yeah, happy to do so.
Nikon just announced a development of 28-135 lens. So that's a power zoom. It's for clearly designed for videography use. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't do much video at all. So to be honest with you, I've got the 24-120. I'll stick with that because this lens is really designed for video.
Do you think we will see a series of lenses like this?
Yes, this is the one of a few, yeah.
Do you think Nikon is preparing effectively to release a whole system, so it's just first lenses?
Yeah, this gold band at the back of the lens is new.
Yes, a different colour.
I think all the lenses from that series will have the gold band at the back. Yeah.
Do you think Nikon will actually release a proper video camera system, not just one camera, but potentially a whole video system?
Well, it's going to be with red, isn't it?
Yes, but do you think we're going to see just one camera, or do you see with several cameras? That's
several cameras.
Several cameras.
Yeah, I think we're not that far away from seeing a red camera with a Z mount.
So that's your 2025 prediction.
Yeah.
Do you think Red will still release cameras under their brand and keep them expensive, and then Nikon will release something cheaper with the Red branding, but kind of combination of Nikon and Red in logos? Or
Red use Canon mount at the moment, don't they?
Yeah, but my thinking is, let's say if we're gonna get something like a Z video, and then we're going to have Red as Red camera, obviously with the Nikon tech. So because those cameras are generally quite expensive, so they can go to tens of thousands of pounds. And obviously, I don't think Nikon would release a consumer camera like this.
No.
Do you think they will keep the brand separately, effectively, but will obviously?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Keep the brand separate.
Fantastic. Okay, let's see. Eric Laurie says, so bets to protect the front of a lens with a skylight filter or use no filter at all for protection. Coming back, yeah.
Two schools of thought on this one. A filter, if it's not a good quality one, obviously can degrade the image. But it protects. We had a guy phone up this morning saying he got his camera out and the filter had just smashed to pieces. Well, it had done its job. It would have been his lens if he hadn't had the filter on. So.
That's true. We've seen this every now and then working in the shop.
So as long as you've got a good quality filter, a Hoya or Nikon or B&W, I'd just to be safe, I'd keep a filter on the front. I always do now.
Don't cheap out on the filter. Next question. What is the best horse in Red Dead Redemption 2? All right. All right. Paul P is asking which lens for your air shows. I was in Civil in June, or Civil.
The one I'm using at the moment is the 400mm 4.5Z. It's perfect for air shows. It's so light.
Did you have 100 to 400 at some point, and then you've upgraded, or?
I had the 200 to 500 on the F mount.
Oh, I see. So is a day and night difference in terms of image quality?
Absolutely, yeah. And the focusing is just, whoa. Even the 200 to 500 with the adapter on the Z9, the 400 is so much faster. And you can use teleconverters on it as well. So,
all right, speaking of air shows, let me see if I can quickly, I forgot how to do this, so let's just see if we can do this. If it's working, switch to the screen. Is it working? We'll find out. Why did you decide to go for 4.5? Let's say there's obviously there's 180 to 600 available, there's 100 to 400 available.
Image quality.
Well. Image quality.
Especially wide open.
All right, here we go. But I know it doesn't work now, so so let's see if I'm going to put more images of Steve on the screen. Let's see how it goes. Question on the filters. John Hughes is asking what you think about the Kess clip-in filters.
I've seen them. I haven't used them. These are the magnetic ones, are they?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I've seen them. I haven't actually used them, to be honest.
How many hats do you have on your head in this photograph?
I think it's 14.
14? Did you buy them all?
Yeah.
All right. Well, while we were waiting for some air show shots from Steve, I'm just going to read your questions. Ian White is saying, question, prime or zoom lenses for the best results?
Prime, every time. Every time.
Did you, like, it's very difficult to when people kind of afraid of zoom, of prime lenses. Do you think it's just a matter of practice?
Well, the thing is, when I'm with a zoom, I'm either at the long end or the wide end, never in the middle. So
why not just to get prime lenses?
Yeah, if I had a 100-400, I'd always be at the 400mm end. So I decided to go for the 400mm prime, and I'm glad I did. The image quality's so good.
Where did you take this particular shot? Like, it looks like what was it? Somerset House?
Close. It's on the South Bank.
I see.
Yeah, close. It's on the South Bank. But, yeah, D850 with a 28-300 at the time.
Tell us about this little tacky shot as well.
That was in a local park with a Z5. And what lens was it? 24-70 f4, I believe.
I'm with you. Another question. So Peter's always asking, besides occasional sensor cleaning, is there any type of maintenance needed for mirrorless cameras?
I always have mine set to clean the sensor when you switch it on and then clean the sensor when you switch it off every time.
Do you find that sometimes you may get a delay?
No.
Okay, so because, I think it's like roughly about a second or something, but the cameras are good enough, isn't it? So, yes, John, we had a bit of a black screen just for a very simple reason. I couldn't figure out how to use the thing, but it should be back now. Ian White is asking, what's your view on the Nikon 300 f4 PF lens?
It's a very good lens, and when we get them in, they just go within hours. Yeah, very good lens. I'm waiting for Nikon to bring out a Z version.
Do you think there's definitely a need for that?
And the 500, yeah, most definitely.
Do we need a 200?
I'd love to see 180 f2 or f2.8 in the Z mount.
I'm with you.
You know, like we had the 180 f mount.
That's right. Paul Bosco Photography says, I use Case, Revolution and Wolverine filters, and they're fantastic.
Okay.
Did you recommend me those or not, the Case filters? No, okay, no. Someone else did.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan M is saying, good day. I want to ask your recommendation about tripod height for landscape and wildlife photography. Should it be on eye level, chin, shoulder? Thank you. What's your thought?
You can do both. You can do low down. It depends what sort of landscape photography you're doing, to be honest with you. Everybody does eye level, so maybe trying something different to get a different effect.
So there's really no right answer. So you probably try experiment and see what suits you. Yeah, is that what it is?
My problem is I can't get down there anymore.
And we all
can't get up.
And we all. John is asking, no, the clipping between the lens and the sensor, not in the way of the shield. I guess he's referring to the clip-in filters we have nowadays that you can put on this, like, above the sensor.
Ah, right, okay.
Have you looked into that?
I have not, no.
I only saw the Kalari release something for the Canon R system, something like this, but I don't know if they're like infrared filters specifically or not. Can the inside of the lenses be cleaned? How adventurous you feel? That's the question, I think.
If it's fungus and it hasn't etched itself onto the glass, yes, they can. Yeah, they can be dismantled, but it costs, of course.
Yeah, you've done some repairs to some film equipment, didn't you, in the past?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you normally do, like refoaming and things?
I've refoamed, yeah, it's about as far as it goes.
How difficult is it to refoam?
Very easy. Very easy.
Just need time, really.
You can buy the cut pieces off of Amazon or eBay, and you just stick them on. It's really easy. It's more difficult to get the old foam off, actually.
Yeah, you need like a little screwdriver to get rid of it. I'm with you. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about next year. What do you think Nikon is going to release?
Well, they've only released one camera this year so far. What I'd like to see them release is something for students, a better entry level, cheaper, like a
Z9S as for students.
Yeah, like a Z. I don't know. They call it a Z10 or something. Really basic entry level to get them onto the Nikon system.
We had FM10, right?
Yeah.
We had FG, we had EM, which was kind of So this type of camera.
Yeah, but in mirrorless.
So
I really think they're missing something there.
So in DSLR we had D3000.
That's right. Nice entry levels.
Which obviously adjusted for inflation, etc. But we used to you could buy one for £299 with 18 to 55 lens.
That's right.
And that basically was fairly affordable for a lot of people at the time.
Yeah.
They start at about £500-600 now at least.
Yeah. So something pre-50, 400 maybe.
Do you think is that the question of that technology is too expensive right now? They can't bring it down, or do they think they don't want to? The mobile phone. They're all using their mobile phones. But Nikon always said that we've changed our minds. We want to have more profit. We want to sell more expensive goods. Mm-hmm. So do you think that is in play, or do you think they still will release something?
I think that is in play, but I believe they're missing something here because it doesn't get younger people into the Nikon system. It's
interesting because we had this conversation on our Nikon Report podcast for a very long time, and I know people were disagreeing openly with me on this one, saying that they want to chase higher profits and higher margin products.
Yeah.
But I agree. I studied photography. Mm-hmm. We had Nikon equipment there. And while I used film Nikon at the time, the only way for me to learn digital Nikon would be to borrow it from the technicians effectively. Yeah. And I think this is very important to have something like this. So maybe it's not going to make you a lot of money, but then we're talking about, first of all, the just brand share, camera share, and also bringing people into the system with the idea that they eventually will upgrade to something.
If they stay with you for life. It's a long term, isn't it? Because they start buying better cameras and better lenses.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Let's have a look at more questions here. Mark Reed says, suggestion please for a suitable external microphone to use on my D780. I'm definitely old school as want to record birdsong in my local nature reserve.
It's for you.
I thought don't get a podcast mics like this. Those are not good for that. They call those things, I think, called shotgun mics, and they're effectively directional mic. What that means is that it will record the sound. It's like a sniper rifle. Where you put the sight on, where you point your mic at, that's exactly where it's going to record the sound from. So it won't record anything coming from the sides. So if you want to record the bird sounds, look at the shotgun mics. And they will do the job. So there's different type of mics for different things. Absolutely. This is more of a podcast mic, so it's kind of record this area. So it doesn't do anything else. But if I try to record, let's say someone's staying 5 minutes away from me, that's not going to do a good job. So Rode mics are good. On the budget, I think you can get a good mic at about 150 to 200 pounds. You can spend thousands on those, but again, advise that if you buy your first mic, don't buy the cheapest, but also don't buy the most expensive mic, because if you just use it once, and then you may find a lot of things with sound as well. I went through this when we went through 20 different mics before we actually settled on those guys. And the problem was you record the audio with the best mic in the world, and it's not very good. And it's not very good because this mic can't record this. It's just because I don't know how to record the sound, and I don't know how to treat it in the post-processing software. That's the thing. So advise there really kind of choose a good value mic for maybe under 200 pounds, and that should get you started. And then, see how it goes. If you get into more things like this, then you can upgrade eventually. We all upgrade our equipment. Yeah. We went from, let's say, basic Nikon cameras to the top Nikon cameras, but that's how you learn that one thing does better than another thing overall. Ian White is saying thank you for answering all his questions. He said, I've learned a lot today. Have a coffee and cake on me.
Lovely. Thank you.
There you go. Fantastic. I should have you more often, Steve. Steve doesn't work on Fridays, so I can't have him more often, but I already booked another day with him. So that's the thing. And we're going to go really, really hard on technical questions. So that's good. All right. So student camera, what else are we going to see? So video cameras, we discussed this. Are we going to see any updates to, well, actually, all cameras, but one in particular is Z7 Mark III. Do you think it's just not going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen. The Z7 Mark III is basically the Z8.
That's it. We're not going to see any low and slow, high res or something like this.
The only thing we might see is with a higher resolution. That's a possibility.
And then technically we'll be slow, right? Because otherwise it competes with Z8, which is a flagship.
Yeah. They're talking about, I believe, 63 megapixels or even 100. I think that's the only way they can go with it.
Right. Since we have this question on live stream all the time, do we need more resolution on our cameras?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Do you think we need more dynamic range on our cameras?
Oh, we're talking about the Z6 III.
we talk about everything really, because you see, those are kind of staple questions you get on live streams.
Yeah.
You know, this is the rabbit hole that we repeat every week. But the reason why I'm asking you the same questions is that I normally answer them, because obviously you bring a different opinion than me. So that's the thing. And we're all different people. What we say is our own opinions. So, you know, but do you think we need a...
in honesty, no. I mean, the Z6 III has got less dynamic range, but I can't see it. Not the way I use the camera, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I shoot slides every now and then. Dynamic range is good enough.
Yeah,
you just need to know how to meter it. But
yes,
here we have Steve here. So this is going to be the next question for Steve. How do you meter? Do you meter for highlights and shadows? No, we're not going to do this, but. Let's see what else we have here. Any chance of museum in the UK? Well, that's probably Nikon probably would be the right person to answer, a run company. Are Barska a good brand of dehumidifier? Here we go, Barska.
I can't say I've heard of them, to be honest.
I looked at some Deus the other day. My budget's about £100.
Right.
Can't afford more.
Yeah.
You know, probably AliExpress is the way to go on this. It's probably going to blow up all the circuitry in my house, but you know, you never know. All right, more Red Dead Redemption questions. Definitely let us know in the comments below. Let's see if you got more questions here. Paul Borsk Photography says, I don't recommend UV filters. Even the best can degrade, so why? Question mark. Keep a hood and cover on religiously, or take UV off before shooting to ensure the glass you paid so much gives the best image. Here's the question for you. How important is 1-2% of image quality in a real world use? I mean, we're talking about the good filters will, yes, all like by default, all filters will degrade the image quality because you put something in front of actual glass.
Yes.
But the filters are so good now that we're talking about maybe a fraction of a percentage. How important is it? Just depends on the person.
I think so. Like I said, there are two schools of thought on it. The arguments on the internet go on for years over this subject.
Do you use filters?
I do, yeah. Just for protection.
Let's say on this note, we just end the podcast, and because I'm using filters as well. You know, so, that's the thing. It just comes down to, if you're 100% perfectionist and purist, then absolutely I agree with Paul. Yes, you will get the best possible image quality.
But I always use the lens hood as well, I have to say. Every time I use the lens hood. Well,
I told you this story. I bought the lens in Hong Kong back in the day, 80-200 2.8. Bought a filter with it. They upsold me on the filter, whatever, you know. But I literally went on the tour to mainland China or something, get off the bus. Lens was on the camera hanging there, smashed it on the concrete pole, literally smashed the filter within an hour I bought the lens. And I consider myself to be very careful. Mm-hmm. Clearly I wasn't. So, but since then, it's just to be on the safe side. But lens hood helps as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Very much so.
Absolutely. Let's see more questions. My chat just updated, so there's more questions there. What does Steve think of Nikon ZF?
I like the ZF. It's not my camera, to be honest with you. I prefer the push buttons rather than the double.
Pretend I'm not here. Pretend I'm not here with my ZF. What do you really think?
I don't like the micro chip card, the micro small card.
Yeah, micro SD.
That puts me off. Yeah,
that's true.
That puts me off big time. But you know, all the focus system is good on it, and Yeah, it's a good camera. I could use it, no problem.
But you prefer more modern styling?
I do now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Having said that.
That's your answer. Not camera for everyone, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt Lee says, Grays is the Nikon Museum in the UK. And that is true. We've got quite a few goodies in there. Yeah, especially if, like, a lot of people come to, you know, through the door and they, you know, on the ground floor, and then they leave. And we always say, no, let's go downstairs to the basement. They get scared when we say let's go to the basement. But in the basement, there's a nice second-hand room that we have there with a lot of literally like little gems there that's, you know, maybe you haven't seen, maybe you have. But the cover for this live stream actually is the blurred photograph of our second-hand department. But I definitely recommend you to come in, say hello to Steve, and he'll show you around.
Yeah.
Colin Murphy recommended me case
Colin.
filters. Yes, you know Colin.
Yeah.
Yes. So he says the case Revolution filters, 112mm feet for the HB97 lens hood, which fits on 14-24, 24-70, and 7200 lenses. And hood is your filter holder. So that's what they have. So if you don't want to have separate things for separate lenses, you can just have one of those. That's interesting. Yes, Colin, you recommend me those filters. That's what. Yeah. Len Oshman says, make sure you give us a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you really ought to. You know, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps. But yeah, the likes always help to spread the stream into the interwebs so people can watch us together. Matt Lee says you could look for used microphones from reputable stores where it should work as intended, but it's not costing you the full price if only experimented. I'd recommend you, absolutely. Those ones, Electric Voice, if you trying to do podcast, Electric Voice, this is RE320. The one I personally have is RE20. It's probably one of the best mics for basically podcast work. So, yeah, our podcasts are probably not, we're not using this mic at full potential, you know, let's be honest. But obviously you got what, Shure 7B, Schule 7B microphone. Those are quite important, quite good. Sennheiser microphones are fantastic. So recommend you to look into those. So there's lots of things. And obviously when you buy those, like there's a lot of USB mics now. I'd like old-fashioned XLR microphones. You will need a preamp for those. But the sound quality is definitely a lot better. But if you just need the regular USB mics, you know, for home recording, they will do the job. All right, let's see more questions. Nigel Sutton is a chat. Hello, Nigel. Said late arrived today. Where in the UK can I get Z6 II modded for astrophotography? H alpha modification. I only know Kalari in the United States. We had another company, but it's probably worth getting in touch with Fixation. Do you think?
Or maybe, yeah. If Fixation don't know, they'll pass you on to someone that does.
Yeah, a lot of those companies, I know that Fixation used to, back in the day, they would say, buy us the kit and we'll install it for you at a price. But there were some other companies. So definitely, if the chat can help to answer this question, definitely whatever you know, just write it down in the comments in the live chat. Keith Sanders says, I shoot in all weathers and always have a clear filter fitted to each lens. I would rather wipe rain off my filter rather than the front element.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, we can talk about filters, really. Filter or no filter. It's one of the things where we can just literally talk 24/7.
Yeah.
And there will be no right answer to that. Absolutely. It's just like film and digital. I'm kidding. It's digital. We all know that. You sold all your film cameras, right?
Until recently.
And then you bought one.
Yeah.
So what was the decision to sell all of them? And then I think it took you about, what, a year in between? Then?
Yeah. My favourite camera of all time is the F4. And I just couldn't be without it. So it's the third one I've bought, actually.
You felt the void when you sold it.
Yeah. Occasionally I like to go out with a film camera. And if it's going to be a film camera, it's going to be the F4.
What's your film stock of choice? Is it black and white, color?
Black and white for street photography. Yeah.
What are you, HP5, Tri-X?
I don't like HP5.
What's
the Fuji one?
Acros 2.
No, another one.
Black and white. That's the only one that is made right now.
The only one they do.
Yeah. So the rest is discontinued.
Yeah.
And it's not made by Fuji. It's made by Ilford.
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
man. So if you buy Fujifilm Acros 2, on the box it will say made in England.
Yeah, that's right.
But actually, Acros 2 is very, very sharp. It's one of the sharpest black and white films. It's
Sharp
100
and
ISO.
contrast yellow.
Yeah. Well, that's probably what,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, ISO 100, that's the only kind of downside of it. But
That's fine.
okay, so what did you like on HP5?
It's not enough contrast.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Have you tried Tri-X?
Yes, that's one of my favourites. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here you go. So, anytime black and white. Did you used to print black and white yourself? Or?
Oh, when I was about that high, my father used to do it. But
that's what I did. My father would set up a dark room in a bathroom.
That's right. Yeah,
and I would
exactly
literally sit on his laps, and then we would print together.
Yeah,
That was, and I was just fascinated by moving the trays. And it's one of my kind of very fond memories. All right, let's go more questions. So Arvin is asking, what do you think about 28 to 135 power zoom? We covered this, Arvin, so maybe if you rewatch a bit later after the live stream, we have this question covered. Mizi, hello Mizi, he says, I heard Steve mentions his 24 to 120 lens. I got one along with my Z8, and I'm looking for two primes to complement it, possibly the 20mm or 20mm 1.8 on 135 planar. What do you think? Which one would you choose, or what other recommendations would you have?
Personally, I recommend the 50mm 1.8 because it's fast and it's probably one of the sharpest lenses Nikon produce.
Have you tried 51.4?
I've seen the reviews. It's, again, soft at the edges.
Do you think they're different lenses really for different purposes?
Yeah, definitely. It's, it's the 1.8.
Okay.
Especially wide open, just blows the 1.4 away.
But if we skip 50, which one would you choose between, let's say, if you have two options, 20mm 1.8 or 135 planar, which one would you buy first on a personal level?
On a personal level, if I could afford it, both. Because the planar is so expensive, but the 20mm is not that expensive. So
yeah, let's be honest, you gotta have them all. That's come to Grays or Westminster.
I mean, the planar is again one of the, if not the sharpest lens Nikon have produced. So
yeah, I call it planar, just to compensate for the quality. Yeah, no, I mean it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible lens, absolutely. So yeah, Daywalk says this very similar answer. 135 plan is absolutely incredible. Once you put that thing on your Z8, you will have a great difficulty bringing yourself to take it off and put anything else on. Absolutely, I agree with you. Jeff says, hello, Con and Steve. Quick questions. If you can only afford one, H5 1.2 versus 50mm 1.2 versus planar versus Voigtlander 1.0 f1. So which one would you choose?
The 135 planar.
135. What do you think about Voigtlander lenses?
I don't own any.
There you go. That's the thing, and this is very important to know because, it's
for me. I can't. Yeah. I bought all these lenses with their autofocus technology. I can't get my head around why would you put a manual focus lens on it.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, and that's just the reason why I like to have you here, because we all different people. Because they think that if I say something, that means it's my personal opinion. That's it. We have different people working different, have different equipment. So you shoot on Z9, I shoot on ZF. Yeah. I like my character lenses. I don't mind manual focus. I agree with the logic of why to pay for no technology when technology is there and costs the same. So, but there's different viewpoints, and it's up to you to decide what works for you.
That's right. What works for you best. Yeah.
Exactly. That is, I think, the most important thing here, but yeah, I'll say go buy Voigtlander. Steve says, no, get out the focus lens. So 135. And if it's 50, would you go for 51.2 or 51.8 still?
Oh, the 1.2 so heavy. I would go with a 1.8.
1.8. Here you have that answer, guys. All right. David Lewis recommending JCH Street Pan 400 film.
Okay.
I developed one yesterday. It's only 5 minutes. It's the same as H5 development time. I developed your film yesterday, by the way.
Great.
So I will send you the scan soon. But GCH is very, very conscious. If you like it,
is it?
Yeah. It's like I wouldn't say there are no mid-tones. There are mid-tones, but it's heavily on kind of, black and white side of things. So yeah, definitely recommend that.
Good.
So Daniel Cruz, that was a question from Daniel Cruz about white lens lenses.
I don't know.
You're going to meet Daniel Cruz in one of the Meet Gray's live streams. Okay? So that's what's going to happen. We're going to have so many live streams. You don't know. This basically, what's going to happen is till the end of this year, live streams going off rails. Whatever you thought about those, they're just going off rails. You like it or not, but as long as we enjoy it, as we say. So there's a Crystal Palace live stream is coming. I can tell you that much. That's how deep we're going to go. But hold your horses. All right, another question for Steve. Eric is asking, Steve, do you prefer DSLR or mirrorless?
Mirrorless.
Yeah.
It's simple as that, mirrorless.
So David Moscora says Sigma 50 art lens is pretty good on ZF. I like Sigma lenses, but they're heavy, the art glass.
I've seen tests with the Sigma art lens 50mm against the Nikon 50mm 1.8, and the Nikon 50mm 1.8 is sharper than the Sigma art.
Yeah, I got
on wall chart tests.
I agree. But I sold my 51.4. I sold my 35-1.4 arts as well. They're good lenses, though. They're good lenses, definitely value for money. That's the thing. But if you want latest and greatest, 51.8 is currently on Nikon Winter Safe, so there's money to be saved there. So let's see. There was another question there that I've missed. Polarizing filter. What do you think about polarizing filters? Is it a snake oil?
I use polarizing filters.
On digital?
On digital, yeah, I do. That's the only effects filter that you can't have built in. You
don't have Pro Mist, you don't have Starburst, I don't know.
I do, but I don't use them. But I do use polarizing filters. Definitely.
So do you actually use them on just enhancing colors, or do you actually use them to remove some reflections? Both, okay. That was back in the day. I remember one of the first photography jobs I had at Grazer was Mr. Gray asked me to go and take a photograph of the front of the shop. And it was...
Yeah, I've tried.
I've taken a shot and I've looked at it and it's me and the tripod and the reflection of the window. Yep. So,
it comes to polarizing.
Exactly. Yeah. Then we spent about 2 hours trying to find the right size because we didn't have one. That was good fun. Absolutely. Let's see. Hello, Rick. Yes, Rick. Okay, we have a bit of an issue because in the United States, they haven't changed their clocks yet.
Yes, so, next week, isn't it?
That's next week. They have president election and then they change their clocks. So that's the plan for next week. Mm-hmm. We've changed our clocks now. So yes, I'm sorry, guys, if you've been a little bit late or early. I'm not sure, but thanks for joining us. I think next week we should be back as usual. Robert White is saying I bought a 12 euro microphone from China and it works perfectly. Well, that's your answer. I bought a disposable camera that day. It also takes pictures, But that's the thing. It's one of the things that if it does job for you, that's absolutely fine. That's the thing. I think it's the most important thing, So with those things, when we always, when we review, let's say, Z6 comes out and someone says, well, my D70 is still doing great. It's the right answer because if as long as it works for you, that's the right answer to that. Doesn't matter because if it does what you need from it, it doesn't matter if there's a new latest technology out, if you see what I mean. So, all right. Kayomi Aragia is asking your thoughts on Yashica ML lens CY mount. That's actually no idea. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, Kayomi, we don't know much about it. Have you ever used Zeiss lenses?
Yes.
What's your opinion on Zeiss?
Oh, top notch.
Top notch?
Top notch.
Heavy?
Heavy. That was the Sigma Arts and.
What did they have? Autos or Opus, something like this.
Yeah,
those were amazing lenses.
But, do you know what? I think they've stopped making them for photography now. I think I'm only doing them for.
That's true. That's true. There was a rumor that they stopped also Leica lenses. I still have Nikon F mount 50 f2 micro Zeiss. It's like 2 kilos. A beautiful lens. I mean, just a beautiful object, beautiful image quality, but so heavy. It's really kind of a tripod lens in a way. Yes, daylight savings on Sunday. So let's see. Nigel Sutton agrees on polarizing. He says, I also use ND and ND graduate filters. I've kind of started to use a lot of the variable ND filters nowadays, especially for video work, because you can stop it down.
Yeah.
Don't really see much use for stills photography, but have you used those tools?
I do. Yeah, if I'm doing a waterfall and I want to make a long exposure, yeah, that sort of situation, rough seas, that sort of thing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Randall. He says, I would love to have a mirrorless full-frame 60-megapixel camera because when cropping, I have an automatic DX with still extra megapixels, and I have only one device to carry around. And Randall has full-frame and DX cameras as well.
Right, so okay, gotcha.
You're happy with 45, but you think we still... Coming back to the same question.
Yeah, I mean, you got to upgrade your computer again if you got 100 megapixels and your storage devices and
but then you can play Red Dead Redemption at like 8K or 4K, and then you're gonna what's it called, ultra sampling or whatever, you oversample it, for extra buses, So there is a reason, to justify that. I've got. On my NAS, I got 4 20 or 24 terabyte hard drives.
Wow.
Just as a backup. And the storage, if you're looking at SSD, the storage is expensive. If you look at the hard drives like HDDs, obviously they not to work on them, but it's more for storage side of things because they're slow. It's not too bad. But yeah, you're right. Like if you just have to upgrade the processor and RAM, how much RAM do you have?
32.
32?
It's upgradable to 64.
Okay, well, that's good. You got DDR4, DDR5?
DDR5.
Nice. What processor?
i9, Intel i9, 9i, whatever they call it.
Are they good? Because I've read some things on the Intel that some of their processors something wasn't good with them.
Something's not good with them with certain other hardware, but no, mine's running.
Going
fine.
strong?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna be wrapping up, Steve, because we've been an hour.
That went quickly.
Yeah. Do you want to do another hour?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Go on. All right, gonna give it another 15 minutes. But we've done our film talk. We talk about Z8, Z9. Obviously, you've got the latest cameras. You've got Z9 and Z6 III. Is there anything that you feel like is missing in a way? Is anything you want Nikon to release that it would be an instant buy for you? Because you kind of well set up with your...
Yeah, no. Even if they brought out a Z9 II, I would wait for the Z9 III.
Mm-hmm. So you're good for another probably 6 years?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, there's not. I keep looking at all the cameras we've got downstairs, but I get that close and I just think,
I know. Steve had Z5, then he had Z6 III. That's, these are the upgrade.
There's nothing for me at the moment.
Is there any particular lens that's on your shopping list for this year or next year? I know you buy them all the time, but let's say, is there anything particular that you feel like...
They haven't brought one out yet.
No.
I'm particularly... I would love to see 180mm.
Not just a prime, not a macro.
Just a prime.
Just a prime.
Yeah. We've got 2 macros. That's enough.
You don't think we need 200 macro at some point?
That would be nice. Yeah.
You've got 105, right?
I have. Yeah.
Nice.
And the 50.
Nice. You've played with some third-party lenses as well. I know that you bought recently quite a few.
I've got 3. I've got the Tamron 70-300, which is my go-to travel lens when I go on holiday. Mm-hmm. A telephoto. I bought the Viltrox 20mm. 2.8.
What do you think about it?
It's wonderful. I used it the other day. And I bought the Mikey 85mm f1.8.
Tell me about this one.
I haven't actually used yet.
Tell me about this one. It's a new one, isn't it?
In the Nikon mount, yeah, but it's been out in Sony and Canon for Sony.
And it's not one of those bubbly bokeh thingy like this. No, okay, no. Just a standard.
Yeah, and it was like 200 and something pounds.
Okay, well, let's keep Tamron because obviously Tamron is, it's a big manufacturer. It's kind of endorsed by Nikon. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the third-party manufacturers that come in from China and Korea. So, we've got obviously Viltrox is a big play in there. What are your thoughts overall on the third-party manufacturers, the small third-party manufacturers specifically?
We're going to see more and more of them. And
Are they getting better?
they are. They're getting quite remarkable, and Nikon are going to have to address this.
Do you think we're going to get at some point?
They already are with the 1.4s.
Which ones? Oh, I see what you mean.
Price is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And do you think they can compete in terms of build quality, image quality?
The build quality is not as good as Nikon's. You know, there's definitely more plastic in them. Mm-hmm. But the image quality, I've got no problems with it at the moment.
So it's a good value for money, what you get.
I'm afraid to say so.
I mean, a lot of them cost something like $150, $200,
right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting how this kind of overall, this kind of mind changes of photographers, because if we were to have this conversation maybe 5-10 years ago, we probably would be quite snarky about that and would just say, nah, it's just not going to even touch that. Incredible. Let's look at more of your questions in the chat. Give us a like. We are on our finish run, so we got about 10 minutes left. Let's answer all your questions. Eric is asking, Steve, how do you prevent your glasses from smudging when you use your viewfinder?
I wear contact lenses if I can.
Okay, so you...
Simple answer.
And if you have to wear glasses, do you have like the bigger rubber eye cup thingy that...
No, it's just the one that comes with the camera. But what I do is I get lens wipes. Zeiss do one like these. I don't know if you can see those.
Yes.
And I clean obviously my glasses with that. But when I finish cleaning the glasses, I clean the rubber on the camera with these afterwards. So you get full use out of them. That helps. But if I'm going to do a shoot all day, I can't use contact lenses.
Interesting answer. I have nothing to add. I agree with you. But yeah, I know that some people used the DK19s back in the day.
Yeah, Nikon haven't produced that. You don't need it with the mirrorless because the light doesn't get in.
Oh, I see.
So that's why they don't do it.
Fair enough. Michael Reed is asking a question: how would a viewfinder be able to distinguish an image taken with Z lens and the same image with an F-mount lens, especially if they are post-processed? If not, why move from DSLR? I'm a bit puzzled by that question, but
once you see an image taken with, say, a 50mm 1.8G, and then compare it, same image, same settings with a 50mm 1.8 ZS, you will see the difference.
Yeah, and again, it's the same answer: is if the current equipment that you have works for you and produces wonderful results, there's really no need to upgrade. It's very simple answer. If coming back to that microphone, if the cheap microphone does everything that you need to use, you saved a lot of money. So you don't need to buy else. And it does everything you want. So there's no like some sort of gas or anything like this way, I need to buy something better, if you see what I mean. So no, overall, it's the same kind of piece of a puzzle where we say, why do you need to buy the latest tech when my tech from 50 years old does a very good job with it? No, we're people, and unfortunately people are quite irrational in their choices, aren't they? Yeah. Fantastic. Another question here. Colin Murphy is asking, Steve, what is your opinion regarding Indian whiskey?
It was very nice, Colin. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Firewater.
Really nice.
Yes. Don't worry, Colin. I didn't take it and just, took it home. No, it's still here.
We all tried it, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we very good. The same
Quite
day.
Quite impressed, actually.
It's powerful stuff. Yeah. It's like 60% or something. It was, definitely need to get, not straight. You can, but it was quite powerful. All right. Arvin Outlaws says D500 replacement and mirrorless would be what Nikon needs. How big is the market for D500 replacement? In your opinion?
I think it's quite large, yeah.
You think it's going to sell?
I hope they bring out something like a Z90. I really do.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed. This is a Z50 Mark II rumored, obviously. So, there are two cameras, actually. They said that the Nikon rumor said that there are two cameras registered in Korea.
Correct,
so
but we don't know what they are.
What do you think this... Well, let's say if Z50 Mark II, that's what Nikon rumors name it. So they don't name the second camera. What do you think the second camera would be? Would it be a video camera? Would it be something else?
It could be the Z. I keep saying I don't think they're going to do it, but if they're going to bring out a high resolution, 60 to 100 gigabytes, it could be a Z7 III.
Well, what for that? Yeah, 1 billion megapixels.
Yeah.
Why not? And then we're going to do pixel shift as
Yeah.
well. So, Andy disagrees with you on some lenses choice. He says we need a much longer macro in zoom range 150-200, but at 2.8 not f4. Huge disappointment on Z105 macro, doesn't take teleconverter.
Yes, that's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nick Harrison says shame Backblaze, which is online backup platform, doesn't work on NAS. That's true. The way I have set up mine is my main desktop PC and my MacBook is being uploaded to Backblaze separately, and then I have my Synology NAS backing up separately as well. So that way I end up with two things. But I totally agree with you that it would be better if just Synology can go straight to Backblaze. So that way you don't need to upload the same thing twice, being it online, offline, etc. So yeah, I agree with you. But I think as a value for money, Backblaze is definitely a good choice. I've been with them for about 6 or 7 years now. Let's look at more questions. Daniel Cruz is asking us question. I don't know Daniel Cruz is a new guy in the chat, so you know who is this guy? Steve, give us some tips for lens maintenance, how to avoid fungus, etc. Well, don't put fungus in it. That's the answer. But what would you recommend? A bit of tooth flossing, a bit of polishing.
Yeah, keep them clean basically. Just keep them free of dust on the outside, then it doesn't get on the inside.
All right, so question on Tamron 7300. Dave Walker is asking, do you find the lack of vibration reduction an issue at the long end?
No.
Because there's VR on the camera.
It's built into the cameras, so yeah, no, not at all. The
problem is there's no VR on the DX cameras, and that's my kind of personal thing that I want Nikon to release, and whatever the coming next in DX range is to add IBIS or VR on the sensor on the DX cameras, because I think it's a big technological step for Nikon, because not many companies actually have it. Fuji has it. So wrapping up, let's see more questions. So Daywalk says, I wear glasses, but I couldn't wear contact lenses. Stick those in my eyes, I'd lose them anyway. Yeah, I've started to put night gel into my eyes because my eyes are dry. That was scary at the beginning, but I'm fine now. They're still red.
I've been told to use my left eye now because this one's deteriorating.
Really?
Yeah.
So you shooting now with the left eye?
No, I'm still using this one, but I've been told to try and use this one.
How interesting. David Moscora says, using Pentax 67 and ZF for Dios de los Muertos event this week. Proper bag and strap. This stuff isn't heavy. Have you shot with Pentax 67?
I haven't, no. Strictly Nikon.
Do you want to borrow one from me? I've got one. All right, last question from Matt Lee. What one of the features would Steve like to see come to Nikon cameras or lenses?
Okay, so with the autofocus, I'd like to be able... I think this is technology that's going to come. If you're photographing a football match and you're going to concentrate on the Crystal Palace shirts, the autofocus, I think, will get to the point where it will autofocus on the Crystal Palace search and not the Man United ones. And this is the sort of thing that's coming.
And I'm thinking and then let's say it's Messi or Ronaldo, whatever the biggest star, and then you can also tell the camera to just
recognize his face.
Either the face or the number.
Yeah, that's right.
So then it's not just the shirt and that.
Yeah, this is what's coming.
Yes, if you know any sports photographers that I can get in touch with, I would love to have one. I reached out to Crystal Palace official photographer. He said, thank you very much. My English is not very good. Bye. So, but if you know anyone, I would love to talk about sports photography with someone. So definitely, please connect us. Thank you very much, Steve, for joining us.
Yeah.
How did you find it today?
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
Coming again?
Yeah, I loved it.
Here you go. Every Friday with Steve. I'm going, guys. My mission here is done. But thanks so much for joining us. If you have any questions for Steve, put them in the comments below under this video. You can always give us a call and ask Steve any Nikon question that you might have, in particular, let's say if you're choosing equipment, things like this. Don't just call and chat, just ask some questions.
Or email.
Ask some real questions, or email as well. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you like this little live stream that we did. Next one I'm gonna do solo, but the one in 2 weeks is gonna be Meet Grace again with another members of staff of Grace Westminster team. Thank you very much, everyone. We will see you next week. Go take some pictures. Bye-bye.
Bye.